I'm Paul. This is Peter. Come here, Tom. Where are your manners? Shake the man's hand.
You're about to sit through one of the most frustrating horror experiences ever made. Funny Games isn't a horror movie you watch. It's a horror movie you survive. Ever thought a movie could stare back at you? This one does. It starts like a standard home invasion thriller. A family at their lake house, two strangers showing up, and tension slowly creeping in. But something happens later that flips the whole film on its head, and it's the kind of twist you can't unsee. Things start to change when one of the intruders asks the woman to look for her dead dog.
Wärmer, wärmer, heiß.
And then, this happened. The fourth wall vanishes. Can you feel that chill? Suddenly, you're not just a spectator, you're part of his twisted game. Beneath each line lies a carefully constructed trap, designed to make you complicit. Are you paying attention, or are you already guessing what's next? It's normal to expect that exposing the trick would ruin the tension of the movie, but it doesn't. The villain even tells us that he would do anything to keep the audience entertained. From here, the story can be divided into 3 stages. Act 1. The home becomes a cage.
I love you, God, with all my might. Keep me safe all through the night.
I love you, God, with all my might.
No. You can't say it like that. It's a prayer, Anne.
We met George Farber, his wife Anna, and their son George Jr., an ordinary family arriving at their lake house. Everything looks calm, and then the first stranger, Peter, looking completely harmless, came to the door asking for eggs. He dropped the eggs and demanded more. Then he slipped Mrs. Farber's phone into the water. It starts to get awkward and invasive. And then the second one, Paul, arrives. And suddenly you're caught in a spiral where normal rules don't apply. Anna decided she had had enough and asked them to leave in every possible way, but they wouldn't. Act 2. Suffering without escape. George heard his dog barking continuously and came back to the house. The tension escalated, and the first real attack happened when George finally intervened. But here's an interesting fact about this scene. You see the swing, the impact, and the victim falling. The film never actually shows the hit in full. There's a shot of the club, a shot of George, and then the fall. But the moment in between is deliberately missing. This approach repeats throughout the movie. Are you ready to see how the villain makes you a part of the torment? Are you enjoying this? Do you want more? We can see the same pattern of events and tone in the original version of this movie from 1997, and the director remade it in the exact same way to reach a wider audience. As the story progresses, Haneke pushes the tension into something unbearable. Every scene feels like a loop designed to exhaust everyone. For instance, the family thinks they might have a way out. A chance appeared, but as the son escaped, he discovered that the neighbors were dead, only for Paul to catch him and bring him back to the house. Most people went into the movie expecting a typical thriller or home invasion horror. You know the formula. A family in danger, masked intruders, a desperate fight to survive and escape. That's the comfort of this genre. Even if it's scary, you feel safe knowing the rules. But the disturbing part about this movie is realizing that Haneke isn't entertaining you, he's confronting you. Which side would you be on? The ones who walked out of the theater, or the ones who stayed just to see how far it goes? The device repeats itself an hour into the movie when we hear a gunshot off-screen. There's a clip of a TV screen for 1 whole minute covered in blood spatters. The background noise of the commentary of the car show becomes so frustrating.
That's no reason to get trigger happy.
For a few seconds, your brain scrambles. Wait, who just died? Was it Anne? Was it George? Then the 2 psychos finally left. After all the sadistic games, the intruders casually killed the son. What follows is 9 minutes of raw, unbroken grief. The parents scream helplessly with his broken leg, and the camera refuses to look away. Then comes the moment that hurts even more. George covering his son's small body with a blanket. It's just a father trying to give dignity to something that cannot be undone. Have you noticed how even when nothing violent seems to happen, your heart is racing? That's not a coincidence. Haneke is using silence and your imagination to pull you in deeper. Act 3, when the film cheats you. After that, George got to the phone and desperately dialed for help, but it didn't connect. Either the phone was dead or it had been tampered with, leaving him broken once again. On the other hand, Anne took it upon herself to try getting help. She slipped out of the window, barefoot and devastated. On the road, headlights cut through the dark. A car approached, and for a second the audience breathed, thinking maybe this is salvation. Maybe she can finally break free. But Haneke had no intention of giving the audience relief. As the car slowed, her face shifted from hope to horror. It isn't strangers, and it isn't help. It's them. The very men who destroyed her home are the ones behind the wheel, smirking as if the entire ordeal were just a joke. After all, it was all funny games until someone got hurt. In most thrillers, the cavalry arrives by now. But here, it's the killers who come back, laughing at the very idea of rescue, mocking our expectations. They dragged her back inside, bound her tighter, and re-established their control. Any illusion of rescue or of the nightmare ending was shattered. The audience feels cheated, and that's exactly the point. Haneke isn't offering happy accidents or lucky escapes. Then comes the star scene of the movie. If you weren't angry enough already, this might just push you over the edge. Anne finally saw what looked like her one chance. The men were distracted, and the shotgun was within reach. Her hands shook, but desperation pushed her forward. She raised the gun, aimed at Peter, and fired. And for the first time in this suffocating nightmare, one of them drops, dead. Silence. Relief. Could this finally be the turning point? But then something impossible happens. The surviving intruder doesn't panic or even flinch. Instead, he started laughing and picked up the TV remote lying nearby. He pressed the rewind button calmly, and suddenly the film itself rewinds. Did you think, maybe now she'll win? That's the manipulation at work. You saw that right. You're not hallucinating. The entire scene rolls backwards, shot by shot, until we're back to the moment before Anne pulled the trigger. Only this time when she reached for the gun, he was ready. He stopped her and snatched the gun away, and just like that, her one shot at survival was gone forever. But how is this possible? How can a character inside the movie control the movie itself? This isn't just a twist, it's a violation. The director reached through the screen to take away your comfort and remind you that you're powerless. The killers aren't only manipulating the family, they're manipulating you. If you thought there was even a shred of hope left, the final minutes crush it. After dragging Anna out onto the boat, the two killers chat casually, as if nothing had happened. Then, they pushed her into the water, binding her fate as easily as if they were discarding trash. The camera lingers on the villains, moving on to their next game, their next family, their next audience. There's no catharsis or justice by the end, just silence, and the cold realization that the killers were never really characters at all. And what if I tell you that the real victim is not the family, it's the audience? So I'll leave you with this. Did Haneke really make a horror movie, or did he make a mirror? Let me know in the comments below. And if you want more breakdowns of films that don't just scare you but crawl under your skin, you know what to do. Like, share, and subscribe.